Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Life After Kids with Doctors Brooke and Lynne. I'm Dr. Brooke.
I'm Dr. Lynne.
You're already chuckling over there.
Well, I'm just happy. I love this topic. This is like something that I hope is going to be, really loved by you guys too. It's one of the things that just makes me happiest about getting together and coming together with friends and family. And
Absolutely.
I know we have Thanksgiving, so it was a good time to talk about it.
Yes. Happy Thanksgiving, by the way. We told you last week, but we're going to say it one more time because now it's really upon us. And Lynne is so happy I'm wearing my Thanksgiving shirt. I know how you just love a cheesy sweatshirt with the message.
I sadly did not have a similar one to match her. No, nothing wrong. It's actually adorable. So
I like a little bit of cheese. So
no,
anyway,
it's all good.
I'm just teasing you. Anyway, back to the topic.
Yes. So we talked last week about our nervous system and keeping calm and all of the ways that we could deal with stress and deal with people that trigger us and have these, family encounters be really meaningful and hopefully just good quality time with people that we actually love, and low stress. Exactly. Well, we have another way of helping you even take that to the next level and, digging deeper. One of the things I think we really crave is to come together, but on the other side, it can feel empty when we just leave and we just do small talk, and talk about football or talk about whatever. And what is a way that we can just really embrace getting to know each other or talk a little bit deeper in a safe way. Yeah. But to really connect with the people that we're spending time with.
Yeah, to go to that next level, because I think, we can have a tendency to just kind of focus on surfacey things. And once again, in this phase of life, at least for me, I want more meaning. I want the moments to count. I want to just walk away from my day, my time with people and feeling filled. Yeah. Do you know what I'm saying?
And
I don't want the
the fluff.
Right. And
fluff is good.
I was going to say, fluff is good too, and laughter and just being silly, but we're going to talk about that because we can get into that. But here's the thing. What I don't want at my holiday dinner or anywhere else is to be fighting over politics and garbage or just we can take the conversation in a healthy, better direction.
Yeah, and I think for us introverts, so we've got an extrovert here and we've got an introvert. And for us introverts, we really do want people to see and understand us. We just have harder ways of getting that out. And so what we're talking about today is just a simple game or an exercise of taking people through some really thoughtful, intentional questions, finding opportunities for that when you're with groups. And by answering those questions, everyone has a chance to do that. And so it can be really affirming, a really validating way. It can, again, it's safe. So you tailor the questions to, you don't go to controversial places, but you give people ways to showcase themselves and to highlight, who they are. Yeah. And it's kind of fun to get to know people on that level.
It's so great. And I give all the credit to you. And also my mother has been doing this, and she does it, she takes girls' weekends and she loves her friends. I mean, she's with my dad too, but she really makes a point of bringing up these questions as well. And back several years when she was doing it, sometimes I feel oh, here we go again. But now I've really embraced it, and you've set the example for me. I just absolutely love it. I love to bring up these questions. So go ahead.
So in case it's coming off vague, really it's at a dinner table. Yep. I love to do this for people at a birthday celebration and to highlight the person who is celebrating a birthday and have each person go around the table, and the question might be, what do you love most? Or that's really easy. You could take it a little step further and say, where do you see this person shining? What do you think is going to be her best contribution to the world? Those are some examples that I'm just throwing out there. You get to choose what you want to ask, but that's a great way to do it. But at Thanksgiving, when there's a lull in the conversation, when everybody's sitting there digesting the turkey, that's the time to, say, well, if you were given $1 million, where would you go and who would you give money away to?
These questions, or just comes up. Yeah, it's great. Or another great question is, what's your biggest regret? What's one thing you really regret in life? My mom has done that when we've had a girls' weekend out with her friends and a couple of mine. That's a question that we talk about.
Yeah.
It's good, like, I think at Thanksgiving for sure, like, do it when you're at the table still before everyone disperses, because they're not going to pay as much attention, right? Do it through your meal. But I can tell you what you mentioned about, like, what do you love about that person? That has been, like, first of all, I saw you do that for the first time. This was just a couple years back. And we were celebrating a friend of ours' birthdays with a group we travel with. And, you know, he's a great guy, and he's, anyway, he's definitely a confident guy. He's not lacking in that. But to see him, yes, accomplished and all of the things, not somebody that you would think needs to, like, be reassured. But you started that chain, and there was probably like 20 of us at that table. And to watch his face light up, like, you could see how he felt doing that, and to have all 20 people share something really special, it gives me chills now talking about it. It's really, really special. And there was one other time, like, you're just so wonderful at stuff like this. When we were in Italy with our families, and you started this.
With our kids present.
And all the kids were there.
And they were younger then. We're going back 3 or 4 years.
2019.
So new to this,
Yeah, and the deal was, okay, I think you started, or maybe your husband Mark started, and was pick one person at the table and say something that you love about them, and then that person has to pick the next person until we got through everything.
And I think we had a number of, like, we did it where a kid had to pick an adult wherever possible, right? And then
it might have been.
You can choose based on the
do
numbers,
it how you want, but I'm telling you, to watch these preteen and teens, like especially AJ, my youngest, light up. And I think we forget, like, how important it is to speak that into our kids. Yeah,
so we always say in our practice, some people go a whole week, a whole month, a whole year without ever getting a compliment. And it is just, sincere compliments are important. Like, you can't just throw them out there just to be fluffy and just, you know.
Right.
It's got to be sincere. But that is, I think, the most undervalued way that you can show somebody appreciation.
I agree. Your words matter.
And everybody's favorite topic is themselves. And that, not from a selfish way, but we don't often get to be told how we are changing somebody for the better. And so back to my original question about the desert island or whatever. Start there, but then segue into that exercise, because that's going to keep everybody engaged. And pretty soon you have people leaning in, and they just can't wait to have a turn to where they can give back to the person that, you know, somebody gives to them, and then they get to give back. Yeah, sometimes it starts off a little bumpy, but once you get going, especially if the kids are involved, you know, so you might get a little pushback, like, but once they get into it, and now, so I do at birthdays, all of our family birthday, like our immediate family, we have a birthday dinner whenever we can, and we sit down, and as we're wrapping up dinner, everyone takes a turn saying something that they love about the birthday person and sharing a favorite memory. That's great. And then at Thanksgiving last year, I started that, and we had, like, my parents and Ken's dad, and, you know, the family was there, and it was something that you're grateful for. Obviously, I mean, it's Thanksgiving, but then share a favorite Thanksgiving memory. And the really cool thing about that is, like, my dad shared a memory from when he was a kid that really stuck with him, and a story that I'd never heard about my grandparents and his brothers. And so there you're opening the door too, and the kids were present to hear that. So that was a really that was a really great thing too. So let's talk about when we were out traveling again. This is cracks. Are you going to tell that story?
Are you going to let me tell that story?
I guess so.
Do you want to skip it? Because we
can skip it. We can't now.
Because now they're going to be like, okay, what are they talking about? So what did you, first of all, I was so awkward because, okay, we have this dinner. I'm new to this group, and I really didn't know anybody.
I think this is great for when you've got a group of people where some people know each other really well, and then other people are just meeting each other, which for work reasons or, you know, different social reasons, I find myself in often. And so this is a really great, this exercise we're talking about is a really great way to kind of fast track that relationship or that speed of trust kind of thing. But I think what you're talking about is when we had an awkward moment and someone said that when they met me the first time. Is that the story? Why don't you tell it?
But the bigger thing is, I love the question. This is a great question to ask. What was your first impression?
Oh, yeah.
So, and what you had us do was go like around the table
Careful what
to the
you ask
left.
if you don't want the answer.
Yes. You were going around the table to the left, and you had to say to the person, so you couldn't even pick the person. It had to be the person to your left that you say, like, name one word that described your first impression. And first of all, the person sitting next to me, I had really just met, but I had known from afar because he's like looked up to, because he's a very like prominent doctor, very well spoken, very knowledgeable. So I was like, I can't believe you just did this to me. So sometimes this can backfire. But I will say it was good because as we went around and other people knew each other better, it opened up so much conversation and so much laughter.
People still talk about that dinner.
It was, I mean,
and because of that.
I know. And we laughed for a good, like, like hour after that, just about the different things that we said. And some of them got funny, some of them were nice. But anyway, the point is you can really have a good conversation.
Yeah. And back to the pushback that you brought up with the kids, you're going to get some people rolling your eyes, and you got to just decide and make a choice. So if you power through it and you're the person that just says, nope, we're going to do this. And usually the moms get to be in charge of that, especially, you know, at Thanksgiving or Christmas, then you will be glad at the end. I promise you. It might take a little bit of experimentation with the questions and with the people and the timing, but I promise you it's worth it. And put somebody in charge in your family who is a communicator. So if you know, hey, that sounds like a great idea, I want to do that, but I'm a little shy about bringing that up, pick the best communicator in your immediate family. Yeah. Tell them what you want to do and get them to mediate it or moderate it.
Right. And I'll give you a little cheat sheet too. If you're like, you know, you come up with your own questions, which is great, have some ready to go, especially like if you're heading into Thanksgiving. But there's a company that I have, so it comes in a little like hard plastic cube, and inside that cube you lift up the box. I actually keep it on my dining room table.
Oh, that's great.
It's called Table Talk, and it's full of questions like this.
Great. So then you don't even have to come up with it. You don't even have to.
And at holidays, we started this with the kids just a couple of years ago, and we each take a turn picking. So whoever's turn it is, as you go around the table, you ask the question, and then everyone answers, and then you're the last to answer, and then it goes to the next person. And there's some great, and we've had some great, like one Christmas Eve, Mimi was with us, who is my husband's great grandmother. She's just turned 99, but she was still able to get to the house, so she was with us. And I think the question was like, if you could have a nickname that would be appropriate for you, what would it be? And we're all going around the table saying these different things, and it gets to her and she goes, I'd call myself Spike. And the boys, like, coming from this, you know, gray hair, she was probably like 95 at the time, we were like, Mimi, what does that even mean, Spike? But the point is,
and they'll always remember that about her.
We still talk about that every Christmas Eve and still laugh with her about it sometimes.
So I do have one closing piece of advice around this, because just like anything, too much of a good thing is too much.
Yes.
So use it sparingly, because you can really like find out that this is fun and your kids will like love it. But if you just drive into it and do it too much, you're going to burn everybody out.
Yes.
So just hold back. Keep it for it's all about the timing. Yeah, when you get good people around, people that are, you know, engaging but could use a little help, or you know, people that you really care about getting to a deeper level with, and then just kind of use it, throw one question out. And you may have to keep it going. So what'll happen is conversation will take place during that, and sometimes you get off on tangents. So again, that's why it's good to have that communicator, that moderator, because then you have to throw it to the next person and remind everyone that we need to close the circle, because that's also hurtful if everybody, you know, if it doesn't make it all the way around, and then people are leaving with a bad taste about that.
Oh, that's good. I'm glad you brought that up, because you don't want to water it down, especially with teens.
Yes.
And young adults. Like, if you're doing it too much, it's going to be like, no.
It's powerful, but it needs to be.
Yeah, I love that. Guys,
have fun with that.
Yes, let us know how it goes. I'm excited to think about some questions for this year. But thank you so much for being with us. Once again, happy Thanksgiving, and make sure you're following us on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, and www.lifeafterkids.com.
We so appreciate you. Have the best Thanksgiving.
Yes, enjoy it.